Sohrab Moradi is now 33. He's an Olympic champion from 2016, and he's a two-time world champion in 2017 and 2018. He's also an Asian Games champion. He snatched 189 kilos there. That was a new world record, beating the long-standing 188 kilo world record by Kaki Kakishvili in 1999. So where is he now? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look into what's going on in the career of Sohrab Moradi as he is clearly making a strong-looking comeback. Now, this episode is indeed sponsored by the friendly fellas over at Manscaped. So if you want to watch me try and sneak in as many weightlifting/genital puns as possible in a minute, I'll be doing that later on in the episode. Also, it would be totally remiss of me if I didn't mention once again that the third ever Coaches Only conference is this weekend. It's October 16th to 17th. It's going to be an amazing online conference. We have Dave Spitz talking about the business of running a successful weightlifting gym. We have JP Millett talking about the scientific method of programming, Michaela Breeze on weightlifting terminology, Dr. Sergei Putsov on the implementation of Soviet research in modern programming, Danny Camargo on the negotiables and non-negotiables of technique, Stu Martin on strength and conditioning for weightlifters, Harvey Newton programming for the everyday athlete, and Tina Ball on the coach-athlete relationship. You can grab a ticket down below. It's going to be a phenomenal weekend of learning. So back to Sohrab Moradi. After being somewhat unstoppable for a 3-year period, 2016 to 2018, and then dominating the first of the 3 qualification periods for the Olympics with his world record 416 kilo total. He did that with a 186 snatch world record and a 230 kilo clean and jerk world record and a total world record. That epic clean battle between him and Tian Tao, where they both were lifting or attempting lifts 6 and 7 kilos over the world record clean and jerk that he just set. He then got injured and he passed on lifting at the Fashir Cup in early 2019. And then during the second qualifying period, he made the biggest mistake of his career. He decided to try to lift despite his injury, which was a good idea. He did need to lift. He did need to put up a total, but he chose to be too conservative. And I was there. I was watching him when he did this. He hit 80 kilos in the snatch and 120 kilos in the clean and jerk. If he'd have just done 90, 130 or 100, 140 or even 100, 120, he'd have gained enough Roby points to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics a couple of months ago. But he didn't. And so, other than a few competitions during that third qualifying period in which he scraped to grab the total needed, he totaled 370 and 384. Good totals, but just significantly off his best ever. We haven't seen him in decent shape since then. But it might almost be time. He has been posting on Instagram again recently. He's a couple of months out from the World Championships in Uzbekistan, Tashkent in December 7th to 17th, I think it is. I will be there. And so let's take a look at some of these lifts that he's been posting. Okay, here's the first lift, 165 kilo snatch. Now, obviously, this is way below what we know he can do. And he's got straps on. 40 kilos below his best of 205. Let's play that here because that's a crazy lift. And he's certainly a little bit wobbly in the shoulder. That's where the injury came from. But, you know, that looks pretty easy. Next we have this. This is what looks like a 230 kilo front squat, I would say. What have we got? 25, 25, 20, 15, 10, 10. So 50, 60, 70, 85, 95, 105, 210, 230. I think it is 230 kilos. This from the PM session later that day. So the strength is clearly still there. Next we have this 160 kilo snatch double, which is pretty good. So actually after seeing this lift, I sent a message to Mezzo, or Miso, I should say, on WhatsApp, and I said, Mezzo, are you training for Worlds? And if so, have you seen what's going on with Sohrab Moradi? He looks to be in pretty good shape. He said he has. He's been watching. He's really excited. He said that he got in touch with Rostami as well. Kianush said to him that he was going to be at Worlds as a 96. Mezzo Sona is going to be there at 96, and Sohrab is going to be there most likely at 96. And then Mezzo also said that Tian Tao looks like he might be competing or training to compete there, but there might be some travel issues that they're trying to sort out with Team China. But it looks like it's going to be an incredible session, and Mezzo is excited for it. So next we have this push press. I think we've got 140 here. It looks like a 25, 15, 10, 5, 2.5 collar. And this is where you start to see the effects of his shoulder surgery. I mean, the amount that he's leaning, you see it in the jerk to some degree as he twists over to one side, or certainly shifts over and biases his right shoulder. But on the push press, where you're actually seeing the shoulder flexion as well as that elbow extension, you start to see where the kind of pain. I mean, he almost lifts his left foot off the floor there. Obviously, he comes up onto his toes when he actually drives, but as he's pushing there, the weight shifts so dramatically over. This rep's the best, you can see it. Almost comes off the floor, it's kind of crazy. So still clearly a problem. And then probably his biggest lift here, 220 clean and jerk. Clean looked surprisingly easy. That jerk, that back knee is tremendous, isn't it? So what have we got here? I think it's a 25, 25, 20. So we've got 50, 60, 70, 85 with the 15, 95 with the 10, which puts us on 210. And then we've got the 2.5 in the collar, so 220. I think that is right. Amazing. And then here is a 160 power snatch, which is huge. We've got the 25, 15, 20, 10 full rainbow. And he catches this high. That's a convincing power. So smooth. Holds position so nicely. And then does the classic Iranian starfish power. So, you know, I think he's probably in decent shape. Is that a 150 from beforehand? Or 55? I can't tell if those are 5s or 2.5s. Sohrab's in good shape. And anyway, that's why I wanted to do this video, is a quick Moradi update. Okay, you waited for it. It's the Manscaped pun genital time. You all know Manscaped by now. They are the leading platform in below the waist grooming, and to be fair, above the waist as well, ears, nose, beard, etc. And with code HOUSE20, you get 20% off everything that they do. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. We spend hours a day in the gym training to perfect a smooth bar path, but you need the Lawnmower 4.0 to perfect a smooth ball sack. It basically allows you to trim at whatever length you fancy, and it has an LED guide light to make sure that you don't get a snag or a hitch when cleaning. You see it on the table? The Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer. Don't go cutting your pull, cut your nose and ear hair very simply with this. You literally strap up and go, but don't jerk about in and out, as that would still hurt, so just controlled reps only with this. I don't even know if some of these count as puns. They don't really, do they? They're just like, they barely count as wordplay, to be honest, but we'll do what we can. Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Toner. Chalk up and keep the boys in the A session with these two. The Performance Boxer Briefs, which I'm not going to show you because I'm wearing them, compress your quads but not your nads with the High Performance Boxer Briefs. And finally, the travel bag. Be proud as you hang it up in the bathroom or down on the dresser. People will pause as they realize their travel bag puts them in a deficit. Plus, it looks great. Abort hairy balls and Buzz Lightyear that Woody with Manscaped. TM. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code HOUSE20 at manscaped.com. You get all of this stuff. It's actually a really great deal. Your dick and balls need some help for a clean trinity and beyond. Your space balls will thank you. That's code HOUSE20 at manscaped.com. Good grief. That was a bit brutal, wasn't it? Okay, a few other big moments from the week. The Kazakh freak, Artyom Antipov, he's a young lefty, he's a 102. He just went full send in training this week. 230 kilo rack jerk, a 220 kilo clean and jerk, which is 2 kilos under the Kazakh record that he owns, 222 in that 102 kilo category. He doesn't have the snatch though. He's not so good at the snatch. Snatch Kazakh record is 173. He's somewhere below that. He then also hit a 221 kilo clean and jerk in competition, national competition. 260 kilo front squat triple, which is, I mean, you know, that is so elite. It's almost, you can't explain how elite that is. And then 281 kilo PR front squat, not quite up to the Ilya levels, his fellow countryman, but not far off it and still pretty young. So an enormous front squat. And I mean, his neck might be wider than his head, which is like, you know, obviously at the point where it meets the traps, it's going to have to be, but like right from the start, it's just thicker. So he's built different. Next we have Yunan, and I'm probably mispronouncing that horrendously, so I apologize. Super heavyweight lifter from China. He just cleaned and power jerked 240 kilos. Now, I mean, to be honest, the power jerk doesn't look comfortable. It doesn't look like a particularly nice lift. But when was the last time we saw someone from China hitting that kind of lift? And also, when was the last time you saw a 240 kilo power jerk? There aren't many people in the world who do that. And the ones who are actually all weigh less. They're never the supers. But still, that doesn't take away how impressive this lift is. So a huge lift for the Chinese weightlifter there. And then finally, Ruslan Nurudanov, he hit a 180 kilo snatch double, which is huge. That's 90% of the world record. And then I thought this was really impressive, 200 and 210, 2 plus 2, front squat jerk. 2 front squats plus 2 jerks. We've got to re-rack the jerk at 210. At 210. Front squat, jerk, jerk. I think that's pretty huge. So those are the lifts I wanted to mention on this episode. And then finally, let's go to the people's lifts. Before we do that, quick reminder, it's coaches only this weekend. It is the greatest thing to ever happen to weightlifting coaches. You don't want to miss out if you are a coach and you want to learn more about the science behind absolutely everything. We've got talks covering a whole range of great stuff. So I'll put a link to that down below. Now, for the people's lifts this week, I'm not going to go through people who've used the hashtag the people's lifts. I got a message from a meme account called Chungus Talakadze. I think it's Chungus. Who was hosting a muscle snatch competition. And so we're going to go through the results of the muscle snatch competition because he sent it over and said that we would all enjoy it. So if he's wrong, unfollow him. If he's right, follow him. My best muscle snatch is 85, weighing like 93 kilos. So I never got, maybe less actually, maybe 92. Somewhere around there though. So let's start with the 67s. 80 kilos at 67. That's pretty elite. Okay, that's the gold medal. That's actually really elite. That's unreal. In the 73s, gold medal, another 80 at 72. So that's still obviously better than mine in terms of like Sinclair or something. Joshua Bringus, I know him. 75, no hook, no contact though. And then 73 at 70. Or 70 at 73. Still, these guys are all basically like lifting more than their body weight, which is huge. 81s. Wait, 88.5 kilos, weighing less than 80. All right, he's just strong. You can tell he's not like a great weightlifter though, because of just that overhead position. But he's a sick muscle snatcher. Maybe he is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's got huge lifts. 70 at 76. That's overhead squat position. 57 at 74. All right. Where are we now? What weight category? WH? Looks kind of like weightlifting house. Kind of looks like this, but it's not. It's like this, but if it was italics, and worse looking. No, I'm joking. So 93 kilo muscle snatcher, 83 kilos body weight. Oh, okay, I know him, Jacob. Yeah. This is really good. So I can't muscle snatch this. Is this my category? 96 is, let's go. These are the big boys. This is my clan. 65, gold? I would have won. I would have won by 20 kilos. Oh. No. Oh, I'm disappointed about that. I should have entered. 102's 100. God, the 15, 15, 10, you don't see that every day. With the step back. Sorry, what's that in the background? Go back. How do I pause? There we go. This, is that a press? Is that like a 1970s press? Lashes, spare training pants. So much about this meme world confuses me, honestly. Okay, and then the supers. Oh no, we're still at the 102 class. 80. Okay. Decent. He looks like he's got way more. He's got that Marta Rossian overhead. Like, catching it here instead of here. Alright, supers, what do we got? 90 at 109 plus. Decent. Decent. Looks like that's from Sweden. And then that's it. So go follow chungus.talakadze on Instagram because he's going to do another one of these competitions. Hopefully it will be something as ridiculous as a muscle snatch. Maybe a muscle clean. But you know, I could never muscle clean that much more than I could muscle snatch. Really. I don't know why. I mean, like maybe 10 kilos more, but not a whole lot more. And I couldn't do it with contact. It just threw me under. I'd have to go no contact. Anyway, that's everything. I hope you understand more about Sohrab. I hope you're up to date with everyone else. House 20 for Manscaped. coaches only link is below. It's going to be phenomenal. And I think that's about everything. Guys, hope you enjoyed this episode of the Weightlifting House News Show, and I'll catch you all next time.